Why the Roman Empire actually collapsed. What if everything you've heard about the fall of Rome is wrong? Not one invasion, not one bad emperor, not even one single event. The most powerful empire in history didn't collapse overnight. It rotted from within, while the world around it changed in ways it couldn't survive. And by the end of this video, you'll understand something most people miss. Rome didn't fall because it was weak. It fell because it became too big to survive. Part 1. The illusion of the fall. Most people imagine the fall of Rome as one dramatic moment. Barbarians storming the gates, the empire collapsing instantly, but that's not what happened. In reality, the Western Roman Empire officially ended in 476 AD, when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed. But by that point, Rome had already been dying for centuries. Part 2. The empire that became too big. At its peak, Rome stretched from Britain to the Middle East. That sounds impressive, but it created a fatal problem: control. Communication was slow, borders were massive, armies were stretched thin. Even with roads and organization, Rome couldn't effectively manage such a vast territory. Eventually, emperors had to choose: defend everything, or lose control of something. They failed at both. Part 3. The economic collapse. Now here's where things get serious. Rome's economy was fundamentally broken. It relied heavily on slavery, conquest, constant expansion. But when expansion stopped, so did the money. At the same time, military costs skyrocketed, taxes increased heavily, inflation spiraled out of control. The government even started reducing the silver in coins, causing massive devaluation. This led to trade collapse, wealth inequality, economic stagnation. Rome didn't just lose power, it lost its financial foundation. Part 4. Political chaos. Here's something most people don't realize. Being a Roman emperor was one of the most dangerous jobs in history. In just 75 years, over 20 emperors ruled, and most were assassinated. This created constant civil wars, weak leadership, zero long-term stability. The system wasn't just flawed, it was broken. Part 5. The plagues that changed everything. Then came something Rome couldn't fight: disease. The Antonine Plague alone killed millions, up to 10% of the population. Think about that. Fewer workers, fewer soldiers, economic collapse accelerates, and because Rome was so connected, disease spread faster than ever before. Part 6. Climate change and collapse. Now here's a factor most people never hear about: climate change. The Roman world went from stable, warm conditions to colder, unstable climates. This caused crop failures, food shortages, population decline, even migrations began, pushing groups toward Roman borders. Part 7. The barbarian invasions. Finally, the invasions. Groups like Visigoths, Vandals, Huns didn't just attack randomly. They were pushed into Roman territory. Rome, already weak, couldn't resist. Rome was sacked in 410, again in 455, then finally, it ended in 476 AD. Conclusion. So why did Rome actually collapse? Not one reason, but a perfect storm: economic breakdown, political instability, disease, climate shifts, external invasions. Rome didn't fall in a day. It collapsed because too many systems failed at once. And here's the uncomfortable question: if the most powerful empire in history could collapse like this, could it happen again?